Hare Krishna. Let us understand Bhagavad Gita as it is, written by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. So let us understand these chapters section by section. Before we begin the discussion, let us offer our prayers to our spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today we will be understanding the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. 14th chapter is entitled The Three Modes of Material Nature. So let us understand this chapter. Lord Krishna says, Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Param Bhuya Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajñātvā munayas sarve param siddhim ito gata. The blessed Lord said, Again I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained to supreme perfection. So previous to this chapter, Lord Krishna has given many instructions, and now Krishna is telling that he will be now teaching the best of all knowledge. That means what Lord Krishna has already taught, Krishna is now telling he will be teaching something even more better than what he has already taught, and knowing this, the great sages have achieved supreme perfection. So further Krishna says, Idam jnanam upashritya mama sadharmyam agatah Sarge pinopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature, which is like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation, nor disturbed at the time of dissolution. So this knowledge is so effective that one who understands this knowledge, he is not disturbed in any condition of life. So Krishna will be teaching that knowledge in this chapter. So Krishna says, Mama yonir mahat brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhavas sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the birth of all living beings, O son of Bharata. So Lord Krishna is the source of everything. It is Lord Krishna who glances at the material energy, and by the power of Krishna's glance, he impregnates the material energy, and all the living beings, they appear in this material world, acquiring different bodies according to their own past karmas and desires. So that is what Krishna is telling here. So further Krishna says, Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradah pita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and I am the seed-giving father. So Krishna is the source of everything. He is the father of every living being. in this material creation. So further Krishna says, Sattvam rajastamaiti guna prakriti sambhava nibadhanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Material nature consists of the three modes: goodness, passion and ignorance. When the living entity comes in contact with nature, he becomes conditioned by these modes. So when the living entity comes to this material world, he comes under the influence of the three modes of material nature. Krishna will now be describing what are these three modes and how they act on the living being. Based on the influence of a particular mode, either mode of goodness, mode of passion or mode of ignorance, the behavior of the living beings are different. So further Krishna says, Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena chanagha. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode develop knowledge, but they become conditioned by the concept of happiness. So in this shloka, Krishna is describing about the influence of mode of goodness. So mode of goodness is the purest mode among the three modes, and those who are influenced by this mode, they become free from all sinful reactions because they have knowledge about life and they are conditioned to the concept of happiness. Brahmanas are the example of people situated in the mode of goodness. They have complete knowledge about the self, about material nature, and they lead their lives according to the rules and regulations given in the Vedic scriptures. And in that way, they are happy. And in the modern world, scientists and scholars, they represent the mode of goodness. They have developed knowledge and they become conditioned by this knowledge that they acquire. They feel a sense of happiness because of their developed knowledge, and they become conditioned and they continue to live in their own understanding about life. So that is the conditioning of mode of goodness. Further, Krishna says about the mode of passion, Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tannibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti, and because of this one is bound to material fruitive activities. So this is the effect of mode of passion. By the influence of the mode of passion, one develops unlimited desires and longings. Raga means unlimited desires for enjoying material pleasures, and in order to fulfill those material desires, one works very hard to achieve those sense objects. Further, Krishna describes about mode of ignorance. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabhis tannibadhnati bharata. O son of Bharata, the mode of ignorance causes the delusion of all living entities. The result of this mode is madness, indolence and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. In the mode of goodness, a person develops complete knowledge and he is happy, but mode of ignorance is completely opposite. It bewilders a living being, it puts him under illusion. Because of this, he becomes lazy, he acts like a madman. The influence of mode of ignorance makes him lazy and he sleeps a lot. So this mode is very dangerous. If a person continues to be influenced by the mode of ignorance, he may degrade into lower species of life in the next birth. So further Krishna says, Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata jnanamavrutyatu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta. The mode of goodness conditions one to happiness. Passion conditions him to fruits of action. and ignorance to madness. Here Krishna is describing about the results of effects of being conditioned by the three modes. Those who are conditioned by mode of goodness, they are bound by the sense of happiness because of their developed knowledge. Those who are conditioned by the mode of passion, they are bound to act for fruitive results. They want to enjoy the results of their activities. And those who are conditioned by ignorance, they act like a mad man. They become mad and they don't have any goal of life. They become lazy, they procrastinate. So that is the effect of these three modes. Further, Krishna says, Rajastamascha vibhoya sattvam bhavati bharata. Rajasattvam tamaschaiva tamasattvam rajastatha. Sometimes the mode of passion becomes prominent, defeating the mode of goodness, O son of Bharata. And sometimes the mode of goodness defeats passion, and at other times the mode of ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. So an individual in this world is not that he is always situated in the mode of goodness or in the mode of passion. There is always a competition among the three modes, and this same individual may be influenced by goodness at some time. He may be further influenced by passion at some other time. Passion may overtake goodness, and at some other time that same individual may become influenced by mode of tamoguna, ignorance, and he may become lazy. Because of passion, he may be very active in working. Because of goodness, he may be acting in knowledge. So same individual can be acting differently based on the modes of nature which are very prominent at that particular time. So further Krishna says, Sarvadvareshu dehesmin prakashopajayate jnanam yada tada vidyat vivruddham sattvam ityutam. The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, there are 9 gates in the body, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, the mouth, the genital, and the anus. In every gate, when the symptom of goodness is illuminated, it should be understood that one has developed the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, one can see things in the right position, one can hear things in the right position, and one can taste things in the right position. One becomes cleansed inside and outside. In every gate, there is development of the symptoms of happiness, and that is the position of goodness. So when one is influenced by goodness, every gate of the body is situated in rightly, and one can see everything clearly, and the symptoms of happiness are developed in these gates. Further, lobha pravrittirarambha karmanam ashamaspruha rajasyetani jayante vivruddhe bharatarshabha. O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, uncontrollable desire, hankering, and intense endeavor develop. So when there is an increase in passion, people who are influenced by this passion, they work very hard because of hankering which is arising in their hearts to achieve more and more material results. So nowadays we see this modern population mostly influenced by passion and ignorance. They make material sense enjoyment as their standard of living, and they want to improve their material standards, and they work hard. There's tough competition. They want to achieve more and more money. They want to accumulate money, and they want to have nice bodily features and strong senses to enjoy bodily pleasures. So they work very hard to achieve money and attraction to opposite sex. They want to enjoy sexual pleasure. So these are all the symptoms of increased mode of passion and ignorance. So further Krishna says, Aprakasho pravrittischa pramado moha evacha tamasyetani jayante vivruddhe kurunandana. O son of Kunti, when there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, madness, illusion, inertia and darkness are manifested. So when a person is too much influenced by ignorance, he acts like a madman without any aim, and he is always lazy, and he is just opposite to mode of goodness. So that is being explained here. So further Krishna says, Yada sattve pravruddhe tu pralayam yati deha bhrat tadottama vidan lokan amalan pratipadyate. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets. Rajase pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha praleenastamasi mudhayonishu jayate. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities, and when he dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. So we can see the effect of the three modes here. If we die in the mode of goodness, we elevate to higher planets. If one dies in the mode of passion, he may take birth in the same human society to continue his fruitive activities. And the most dangerous mode is mode of ignorance. If someone dies in the mode of ignorance, he degrades himself to the lower species of life. He may take birth in animal species. So further Krishna says, Karmana sukritasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasaf phalam. By acting in the mode of goodness, one becomes purified. Works done in the mode of passion results in distress, and actions performed in the mode of ignorance result in foolishness. So these are the effects of the three modes. One becomes purified if he acts in the mode of goodness. On the other hand, works done in the mode of passion results in distress, because it's all just to, so for example, if someone wants to build a house, he has to work hard and earn money, and then he has to use that money to construct a house. So there is so much of intense labor in constructing the house itself, so much of physical pain the laborers experience. So in that way, there is always distress because of mode of passion. And then, though works done in the mode of ignorance result in foolishness. Those who are in ignorance, they do things completely against a mode of goodness, and it will all be very, very dangerous for the performer. So further Krishna says, Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha evacha pramadamo tamaso bhavato jnanam evacha. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. From the mode of ignorance, foolishness, madness and illusion develops. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha madhye tishtanti rajasa jaganya guna vrittistha adho gachanti tamasa. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in the mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. So these are the results of developing the three different modes. Those who are in the mode of goodness, they are transferred to the higher planets, the heavenly planets. Those situated in the mode of passion, they take birth in earthly planets. And those who are situated in ignorance, they degrade to hellish planets. So further, Krishna says, Nanyam gunebhyah kartaram yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam sodhigacchati. When you see that there is nothing beyond these modes of nature in all activities, and that the Supreme Lord is transcendental to all these modes, then you can know my spiritual nature. So in this whole material creation, we see that different living beings are situated in various species, 84 lakh species of life, and every living being is performing actions to fulfill the desires. So all these activities are all actually because of the influence of the three modes. Different living beings are engaged differently. It's all nothing but influence of the three modes of nature. The living being is helplessly acting. So that is, and the Supreme Lord who has created this whole material creation is transcendentally situated, is beyond this material creation. So that is being explained here by Lord Krishna. Gunanetanatitya trin dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhair vimukto amritam ashnute. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes, he can become free from birth, death, old age and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. So the goal of human life should be how to overcome the influence of the three modes, and by overcoming this, the influence of three modes, one can really enjoy life. So that is being explained here. So when Krishna told this, immediately Arjuna got a doubt. He wanted to know how to overcome the influence of the three modes so that one can live happily. So Arjuna asked this question to Krishna. Arjuna vacha kairlingay strin gunanetan atito bhavati prabho kim acharaha katham chaitam strin gunanati vartate. Arjuna inquired, O my dear Lord, by what symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these modes? What is his behavior and how does he transcend the modes of nature? So Arjuna has asked this question. He wanted to know how does a person who has transcended the three modes of nature behave, and then what are his symptoms. So these are the first two questions. Further Arjuna is inquiring the third question, how does one transcend the modes of nature? So he has asked these three questions and Krishna gives reply. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandavam nadveshti sampravrittani nanivrittani kankshati udasina vadasino gunairyo navichalyate gunavartanta ityevam yovatishtati nengate. Samadukhassukhasvastaha samaloštashma kanchana tulya priya priyo dhiras tulya nindatma samstutihi manapamanayo stulyas tulyo mitrari pakshayo sarvarambha parityagi gunatitasya uchyate. So Krishna is now giving replies to the first two questions. Krishna says, the blessed Lord said, he who does not hate illumination, attachment and delusion when they are present, nor longs for them when they disappear, who is seated like one unconcerned, being situated beyond these material reactions of the modes of nature, who remains firm, knowing that the modes alone are active, who regards alike pleasure and pain, and looks on a clod, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is wise and holds praise and blame to be the same, who is unchanged in honor and dishonor, who treats friend and foe alike, who has abandoned all fruitive undertakings, such a man is said to have transcended the modes of nature. So Krishna is describing the symptoms and behavior of a person who has transcended the modes of nature. A person who has transcended the modes of nature, for him happiness and distress is same, honor and dishonor is the same. He looks at a stone and a piece of gold alike, for him both are same. And then he sees that everyone is acting by the influence of material nature, and then he sees both praise and blame as the same. So in that way, a person who understands the influence of the modes of nature, he is not affected by all these worldly praises and criticism. He is not influenced by all these things. So very nicely Krishna has listed the symptoms of a person who who has transcended the modes of nature. And now Krishna describes how can one transcend the modes of nature. Krishna says, Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So here is the answer for Arjuna's third question. How can one transcend the three modes of material nature? So one can practice living in the mode of goodness by practicing the principles of Krishna consciousness and then transcend the mode of goodness also. So, Mamchayo abhyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. One who serves Krishna with full love and devotion, he can transcend the three modes of nature. Sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. He can be situated on the stage of Brahman, which is the actual spiritual position which a living being can stay. And then just getting liberated from the effects of material nature is not enough. One should be situated in a spiritual position and act in that spiritual position. This is possible only when one completely realizes his self as the eternal servant of Krishna. Unless one completely understands that God, Krishna is a person, every soul is a person, each and every soul has a loving relationship with Krishna. So we have to develop our loving relationship with Krishna and then serve Krishna in that loving relationship. Then we can be firmly fixed in the Brahman position. Otherwise, there are many people who think that God is impersonal. After we give up this material body and by some tapasya, if we get liberated, we merge into that impersonal energy. Actually, such an understanding is an incomplete and incorrect understanding of the self. Krishna has already described in the second chapter that every soul is unchangeable. Now we are all individual souls. We will remain individual forever. It's not that after liberation we merge into the super soul. So some people have this wrong understanding about spiritual life. We will never merge because we are individuals forever. So being an individual, we can connect with the Supreme Individual, the Supreme Lord, through a loving relationship. So we all have to develop our loving relationship with Krishna under the guidance of an expert spiritual master. So though there's a spiritual master is a pure devotee of Krishna, who knows Krishna, who knows signs of serving Krishna, under his guidance, if we also get trained and learn about Krishna, learn about our relationship with Krishna, we can also develop our devotion which is dormant in the heart of every living being. It's not artificial. Loving Krishna and serving Krishna is not artificial to the living beings. It has to be awakened by proper association, by proper training. So once by good fortune, if we get association and get connected to a spiritual master and surrender to him and serve him, submissively inquire from him, spiritual master being a kind servant of Krishna, he will teach us how to serve Krishna. In that way, we should develop our loving relationship. And in that way, when we develop our loving relationship with Krishna and serve Krishna, we will become free from the effects of the three modes of material nature. Otherwise, there is no other way of becoming free from the effects of three modes of nature. So further Krishna says, Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ikantikasya cha. And I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman, which is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness and which is immortal, imperishable and eternal. So here clearly Krishna is describing that the impersonal Brahma Jyoti which is spread everywhere, it is emanating from Krishna. Krishna is the basis of everything. So having complete knowledge about Krishna and the signs of Krishna consciousness makes one free from all effects of the three modes of material nature, and one can remain very happy even while living in this material body. He is free from the effects of the three modes of material nature, And after giving up this body, one directly returns to the spiritual world. So Krishna is transcendental. Any form of Krishna has many incarnations like Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma. So all the different forms of Krishna are also transcendental. A person who is devoted to any form of Krishna, any incarnation of Krishna, he becomes transcendental by being devoted to that particular form, and then he achieves supreme perfection of complete liberation from the three modes of material nature. So next we will be understanding chapter 15 in the next session. Hare Krishna.